I am so excited. We are about to jump on a call with the beloved Nazanin, who is the founder, the owner of Tea Thoughts. And we're going to talk about advance countdowns, winter things. I'm so excited. It's been a while since we've had her on the channel, so let's dive in. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to have you here. Nazanin, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Nazanin and I run Tea Thoughts. And if you don't know about Tea Thoughts is an online shop, and it's kind of my love letter to the tea community in the sense that when I first started it, there wasn't a lot of tea things, tea merchandise for people out there. And as I started to try more teas, I felt this void and I wanted to fill it. And so I started designing tea themed items, and that ranges from everything from different accessories like pins and things to stationery. I've even had my designs printed on teaware. And so my goal was to kind of represent lots of different tea cultures and ways of brewing through fun goodies that the tea community can get and represent their love of tea with.
I love that. And yeah, I do have a little
Love it.
Can we just stop for a second in like my whole brain? And anybody that has followed me for any amount of time knows that I cannot pronounce anything. So when I was little, I could not pronounce spoon. My brother used to tease me about it all the time. I just couldn't hear the difference, and it like took me forever to realize that I was pronouncing it with an M instead of an N. Can we chat about your name? Do I always say it wrong, or is there like every once in a while of a chance that you're like, oh, she got it that time? It's
No.
okay. I'm trying to learn. I think it's a hearing thing.
Well, here's the thing. So my name is an Iranian name because my parents are both from Iran. And the way my parents would say my name, Iranians would say my name, like in Farsi, which is the language they speak, is Nazanin. So Nazanin. And the A is kind of like Nazanin. But when I introduce myself, because I grew up here in the US, I found it was much easier for people to say Nazanin.
Nazanin.
Yeah, and I think that some people do slight variations on that, but as long as you're not saying, I mean, I think that some people say like really elongate the A and they'll say Naz, but it's more like Naz, you know, so Nazanin, but I don't think you're necessarily saying it incorrectly. In general, I'm not pronouncing it the way when I introduce myself to people, the way it's actually pronounced, but I don't really expect people to say it the way like my parents would say it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a very slight difference, but Nazanin.
Nazanin. Okay.
Like I always say there's a artist, a rapper named Nas, and his name is actually Nas, but he says it Nas. And so I say Nas, like the rapper. Nazanin. So, because I also go by Nas when I played sports, it was so much easier for my teammates. Like like you did swim team with 60 people on the team, much easier to remember Nas than Nazanin. So that's how I don't know if that's helpful. If you think about that.
Yeah. I never want to disrespect anybody or their name. And I feel like a name is so like it's so personal, and I always struggle with that. So, and I know that I have issues.
I really appreciate that, for the longest time, because everyone has like always said my name wrong my entire life. I was kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, it's just how it is. But then as I got older, I kind of realized I was like, well, this is my name, this is what I'm known as in the world, and I should try to be a little more confident if someone is saying it incorrectly, to correct them. Because when I was younger, I was just like, yeah, whatever, the way you say it is fine, please don't bother me anymore, you know. But now as an adult, I try to correct people if they're like really saying it wrong, you know. But I appreciate that.
Thank you for taking the time to go through that. Like I said, it's something that I always want to make sure. So as you know, on this channel, we love kindness and we love tea. We love all kinds of beverages. And I know that you like whiskey and stuff, but is there anything specific, especially tea, that you're drinking today?
I actually do have a cup of tea with me, and it's just my black tea. It's a Ceylon tea that I've talked about it a bunch of times. If you have followed me for a while, it's like a kind of Persian style morning tea, and it's Ceylon. So it's not really Persian, it's Sri Lankan because it's Ceylon tea. But it's something that I grew up drinking, and I think it also has bergamot oil, but it doesn't quite taste like a Earl Grey. It's a little bit different. But that's what I'm drinking with a little bit of honey in it. It's like one of the only teas I enjoy sweetener in. Sometimes I'll have a honey matcha latte, but that's what I'm drinking this morning. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I know that everybody is excited to hear about your winter countdowns and everything, but before we do, can we just have like a quick little like you did
Yes.
this. This is the one I'm drinking right now. It is spectacular. Like I'm just in love with it. Like I'm like savoring it and like, oh, must keep a little scoop. This one surprised me that
A
like
lot of people say that.
I was like, what surprised me the look of it, the in like the actual ingredients, and then it surprised me how much I actually enjoyed it. Like, yeah, so beautiful work.
Thank you. I was actually going to say, if you, because I know you've tried Dil Tangam, which is the one you said you're drinking, that obviously the ingredients are like in Earl Grey, but you can probably attest this, it doesn't really taste like the typical Earl Grey. Like it has that bergamot, but those two teas are something I'm actually very, very proud of. And one of the things I mentioned before is representing different tea cultures and communities and ways of brewing. And for me, coming from an Iranian background, growing up, not that it's not about tea, and there is tea culture in Iran, like there's tea that is grown, and that's much easier to see now with the internet. But like growing up, I didn't know about any of that. It was just, this is the way we brew our tea. And it wasn't as much about the tea, it was more about like having the tea with your family members and, gossiping or telling good news or sharing not great news over the cup of tea. It wasn't as much about like the tea. And then when I started trying like Chinese teas and Taiwanese teas and stuff, there was so much more variety in the way in the teas themselves, and of what people were drinking and like how they were brewing it, many different ways of brewing it. And so to me, at first it was like, that was really cool. It was a very new experience to see that. So a lot of my stuff had that represented in it because you never saw that anywhere, right? And I think last year, when I had shared my first or second Nowruz box, which is the Iranian New or Persian New Year, and people had a really nice feedback about it. They were excited to learn about Nowruz, and I didn't think people would, because I haven't always had like a positive reaction to my culture and things like that. And so that really inspired me. I was like, I should have more representation. And I never wanted to sell tea, but I thought if I was going to, I would want it to be like a representation of my own culture. And so I had these connections. Del Tangam and Aram are blended by two different shops, and they're both Iranian owned. So this was kind of my way of one, having these two cultural expressions, but also collaborating and supporting two other Iranian-owned shops. And so I started with Del Tangam because that's like the kind of what I'm drinking right now, but it has a little bit of a spin on it. So the black tea with bergamot is normal. Various different black teas people drink. Rose is a very common ingredient in food. People put it in tea, people put it in sweets. And then the Ceylon cinnamon was something I added because that's not as common. And I wanted to make the tea kind of unique. And cinnamon is something though that we cook with a lot in different dishes. So that was behind that, the thoughts behind that. So it was kind of like a morning tea with a little bit of a spin on it. And then when I had met Mona of Chai Affairs, which many of you probably know her, she was already doing a lot of work with herbal ingredients. And we talked about this, and this blend is like totally, not something that is consumed. The Golgov Zaban, or borage, however you say it in English, it's something that is consumed alone in Iran. Like, when I first made this blend, my dad was like, oh, I remember my dad, so my grandfather, like just drinking this every night. So it's something that people consumed a lot. But I didn't want to just sell it on its own. I wanted to make something like unique with it. And after Mona did some testing, I included rose. I know, not very original, but it's also a very central ingredient. And the other thing I included is limu amani, or the dried lime. So those lime pieces in there. And that's an ingredient to me. What I know of is I cook with it. It's used in a lot of stews. So the taste is kind of like floral and tart, and I think it's a very unique blend. And now I have something, with caffeine and no caffeine, and kind of two different legs of tea and herbal consumption in Iran, essentially. And so those are a very long-winded explanation for them both, but that's kind of the thought process behind them and why I created them, and why I will probably always stock them unless something happens. But that's the goal.
Well, I love them both. So yeah, job well done.
Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoy them, especially the aram, the herbal one. I was a little bit afraid that it might be like kind of weird for people,
Well,
because it's having lime pieces and in
it
tea.
was
But
so beautiful though, like just like the whole experience of like seeing the tea and then like brewing it and then like drinking it surprised me, like completely surprised me. I don't know what I was expecting. I think maybe I just, because I walked into it blind, like I don't know what we're doing. Like, yeah, so lovely. So as you know, we are like crazy in love with Advance on this channel, and I do Vlogmas, and I had to skip last year because of some health and personal reasons, but so looking forward to it again for this year. And I believe this is your 5th year of your regular winter, and you have some new news. So what's in store for us this year? Can you tell us?
yes. Okay, so I'll start with the old first. Old, but still good.
Regular.
Yeah. I believe you're right. I think it's been 5 years, and you were one of the first people who ordered my original countdown, which has changed, and now it's like every season essentially. But this year I will have my winter countdown, Advent, what have you. I like to do both because some people don't celebrate Christmas, so you can also count down to the first day of winter, you know, so the solstice. And so that will be a 12-day box. And because I'm doing the other thing that I'm going to talk about, I actually am only including tea in that one. So tea and one brewing vessel. So it'll be 11 teas and then one brewing vessel to equal 12 days. And that will be similar to all my other boxes. If you're familiar with my countdown, I now do a QR code landing page. So there's information about the box. And then each day I write a little bit about each one. If the company that I'm buying the tea from has like brewing instructions, I put it there. I put a link. If it's something I haven't sourced myself and it has a customer facing website, you can go buy more of the tea or check out their website. And so that's business as usual. I really like the design I made for that box. It's like a fox with a holding a gaiwan. So that will be the normal winter countdown that I usually do. But this year, I'm doing a second one because I'm crazy. And basically the idea for it was I've always wanted to do a 24-day countdown or advent. And it's really difficult with tea because if I was a tea company and I was just packaging my own tea, it would probably be fine, you know? But because I'm already buying it from other companies and I'm often buying it pre-packaged, not in a large amount and packaging myself, the cost for me to do 24 days would be crazy. And I also want these boxes to be, you know, somewhat, they're a luxury, of course, but somewhat available for people to be able to afford while also still running my business. And I've done the numbers. 24-day tea box, the way I do it is like not possible, you know, it would be insane, basically. So I was like, what is something that has a smaller cost that I could do and it would be a lot of fun and I would enjoy it? And obviously, you guys know that I'm a stationery lover. So I thought to myself, why don't I do a stationery advent? And I've seen a lot of them. And a lot of people do different things. Some people do all stickers, some people do all washi tape, you know, all these things. And basically, I just kind of saw what was out there. And then I went to some of my printers to get estimates. And I found out that it is very possible for me to do a 24-day stationery advent. So no tea, all stationery, all tea themed designs of the stationery. And that's the new one I'm doing. And this is going to be kind of a split. So there will be 12 vinyl stickers. There will be 7 sticker sheets. And then there will be 5 washi tapes. So you kind of get a mix of everything. And a lot of them are new designs that I've done. Some are designs you might have seen, but are like kind of reworked into whatever the product is that I've, you know, created. And I'm very excited about that. So no tea in that one, but I have a tea and then stationery. So kind of trying to get both.
Yeah, and perfect for the tea lovers, right? But like both, you could get both, and that would be wonderful.
And it's really exciting because I'm actually packaging everything right now. And I've been working on it for a very long time. With a lot of encouragement, actually, from Tanya from Yoga Tea Poetry, because I told her about it and I was like, I don't know if I should do it. And she really encouraged me to, you know, just start working on it and to do it and see how it goes. And so I've been doing some of these designs because I didn't want to do it all at once.
Yeah.
So I've been doing like 1 or 2 here and there since like late spring, essentially. That's when I decided. So when you wonder why Christmas stuff and Halloween stuff and all the holiday stuff is in the stores many months in advance, this is why. So yeah, I've been working on it for a long time, and it's kind of crazy that it's here I'm packaging it right now, and I get to release it to everyone, and I hope that it will be a success and people will enjoy it.
I'm sure they will. When are you going to release that?
So the current release date, not current, I'm not going to change it, is I believe it's a Thursday, October 18th. And I chose that because I'm going on one trip that weekend for a wedding, and I want to do it before then so that everything is mostly packed. Go on the trip, I come back and I start sending them out that week. And I know that sounds very insane and early, but the mail is much slower now for the holidays. And also, I don't want to go too much into shipping, but USPS kind of changed their shipping stuff. So it's probably going to get to you a little bit later. I do offer to people in Canada, obviously, and it takes much longer to get to you all. And I want people to have it before the first day of December, especially for the stationary advent, because that's 24 days.
Yeah. Shipping is definitely, and I mean, I'd rather have it early than late. So it's all good.
Exactly. And I think that even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I think the stationery could just be like a nice, you're opening something every day in December, or you could open it all at once, whatever floats your boat,
Do you have any tea scoops or spoilers for us or anything, or any hints that you want to share? No pressure. And if you do share anything, I'll put it up on the screen. So if nobody wants to see anything, they don't have to see anything.
I'm trying to see like how I could share without spoiling.
Yeah.
I guess one thing I could say is that I don't know how much of a fun hint this is, but what I tried to do is not do anything like holiday specific in there. There is one fall Halloween theme thing in there, but most of the designs are kind of like general, so you could use these stickers and washi tape like whenever.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not going to be like, everything I open is, winter or something like that. It's kind of the overall design of the box is kind of winter themed since it's December, but most things in the box are more general. You could use them, throughout the seasons. And so I hope that's a good hint.
That is a wonderful hint. That's really good to
Okay.
know,
Okay.
actually. Yeah, that's great. So before we let you go, can you tell us like anything that you love about your business, or what products you love the most? And I really believe that people love helping people succeed. Is there anything we can do besides, of course, buying all your goodies? Anything else?
Picking a favorite is very difficult. I guess I'm gonna have to say my teas, kind of from what I shared before. They're very special to me. Everything I make in my shop, everything I design and get made is something that I enjoy. So I'm putting something out there that I like, kind of. So you're kind of getting a piece of me in a sense. But the teas are very special to me, and I think that's probably my favorite thing in the shop. If I had to pick a close second, it's any stationery product, because, little Nazanin, who is going and buying like Hello Kitty themed stationery with her, couple bucks that she got from like Christmas and birthdays, is, screaming inside that I get to make my own stationery now. And in terms of helping, obviously, so many people have been really kind. I have a lot of people who really support me a lot and purchase new products that I drop. Obviously, that's very important to keep a business's doors open, but something that's really difficult for me and a lot of other small businesses is getting my stuff in front of people. And especially with, Instagram being the way it is, and other social media is kind of hit or miss, sometimes great, sometimes not. So if you do enjoy my things and you know other people who might, always sharing with them is really helpful to get more eyes on my products, because that's what will help sustain the shop, having more eyes on it, more views, things like that. I think a lot of people don't know I exist, and so that's really helpful for sure. And also one more thing, if you do know of any like small tea shops in your area that might carry my stuff, because I do have a lot of shops that purchase some of my items, that's also always helpful. You can just email me or send me a message and say, hey, there's like a tea shop, and I can reach out to them and see if they're interested in carrying my products.
That's a great tip. Thank you. I'm sure people will send you a message for sure. I will be sure to leave all your information down below, but it's basically teethoughts.com, right? Did I do that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, teethoughts.shop, but you can get to my shop from teethoughts.com, which is my blog.
right. Yeah,
Yes,
makes it easy and yeah,
exactly.
for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else to share in the last couple minutes that we have? Anything you want to say to anybody watching?
I think I know that maybe some people watching have never heard of me, but I know a lot of people watching have, and I know a lot of them have discovered me through you. And I just want to say truly to you and everyone else, like a heartfelt thank you, because it takes a lot of effort to, even though I'm very lucky in a sense that I'm running my own shop, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of difficulties. And when I get that support, it's really, it means a lot. Like you get a warm and toasty inside. And so I really appreciate that. And I think that's what I love to close on.
Beautiful. Well, we support you 100%. I am a huge fan. So, yeah, so excited. Thank you very much for being here, and I'm sure we'll be chatting.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I always love talking to business owners, especially about different countdowns, tea, their life, all of the things. I just so enjoy it. I hope I'm gonna see you for Vlogmas, which maybe I just need to do a quick video saying, Jan, what is Vlogmas? And yeah, just very excited to hang out with you more, drink tea, and just explore the world again virtually together. It's just, yeah, I just really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I will leave all Nazanin's information down below, and I can't wait to hang out with you. If you are not already, please subscribe to my channel. I also have a new newsletter. Might not have heard about that yet. I will chat with you in the comments down below. Until next time, take care. Bye. Don't forget to give Nazanin so much love and support and kindness. I know I'm gonna try that.